Hello, Eden. Okay, so I have some rapid fire. Do you like how just straight to business?
all in. Oh, hello.
Oh.
Sorry. Peanut's excited. Peanut's ready for the rapid fire. Peanut's ready. My dog
Peanut's
is
ready as well. Peanut's stretching. Yeah. Peanut's shaking it out. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to ask you some rapid fire things. I want your opinion or your answers on all things pop culture. Okay. So rapid fire. Eden, I don't need a history. I just need an answer. Okay.
Okay. You got it. I like this prep because you know how I'm gonna answer.
Okay. First and foremost, does Glenn Powell have what it takes?
His publicist does.
That is funny. Have you seen Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story?
No.
Okay, it's great. You should.
Okay.
Are Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce in it for the long haul?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, at least until they have, I think they're going to have a kid. I think they're going to have a kid and then they're going to be, I don't know what's going to happen to that kid. Actually, I don't know. I genuinely.
An answer, not a history, Eden.
Yes.
Thoughts on Patti LuPone calling Madonna a movie killer a few years ago because of her terrible acting, and then doubled down on the sentiment 2 weeks ago when she was on Hot Ones with Aubrey Plaza?
I'm from 2006. I'm going to say slay. I'm going to go there because I don't have another word for that.
The Saltburn bathtub scene.
Iconic. Slay.
Jennifer Aniston wearing clangy bangles whenever she's on a late night talk show.
I did not know that was a thing. Yikes.
It drives me up a wall. I adore her, but if she wears more clingy bangles, I'm gonna send her through the roof. I can't handle it.
Do you think she has it? Do you think she has a thing against sound people?
I don't know, but it's like she's jangling in front of her microphone. Okay, next one. Smash or pass Jeremy Allen White?
Pass. Is that smash or pass?
Yeah.
Pass. Hard pass. Thank you very much.
Even in his Calvin Klein. Okay. No, not a history, just an answer. J-Lo and Ben Affleck getting divorced again, and J-Lo wearing a fresh set of Lululemons whenever she steps out of the house as a result.
Slay.
And then quick question. Do you know the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane?
Yes.
Okay. And last one.
He lives in my bathtub, actually.
And very last one. Brooke Shields' best comedic performance to date.
The Middle.
Oh, that's perfect.
Wow, that was great. That's not where I didn't know where this was going. Fantastic. I'm so excited. That was the greatest segue to any episode ever. Guys, we are recapping Brooke Shields' I'm sorry, Jennifer Aniston, I guess, is on my couch right now.
That peanut jangling is the collar. Yes, okay.
My dog is jangling her collar. But you guys, we are recapping episode 112, The Neighbor, and interviewing Blaine Saunders, who played Carly.
All that and so much more. So let's get to middling.
Welcome everyone to Middling with Eden and Brock, where Brock and I recap an episode of The Middle every week.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming. We had such a good interview with Eileen and Deanne last week.
That was so nice. I'm really happy for that. I'm really happy for that. That was, I think, one of our best. It was kind of refreshing to not have to think about an episode. It was just thinking about the series as a whole. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I feel like I learned stuff. I really
like how candid they got about because the thing that I always wonder about a mentality standpoint is kind of what we talked about is how did it feel being called underrated in the thick of it and also today. They're very funny women, but I also really enjoy seeing kind of their vulnerability about the series now having a little distance from it.
Honestly, my favorite part was hearing their dynamic a little bit more.
Sure.
I feel like Deanne got a little sassy with Eileen. And because they were so separated on set. So for 9 years, I really spent so much time with Eileen, and Deanne was in the writer's room. That's what it was. So most of I never really saw them together except for at wrap parties when they were a little tipsy, So I really didn't. And so seeing them in action, I was like, oh, I don't want to say the cracks are showing, but in a super relatable, oh, thank God they're not thank God they have their own. Their relationship is funny and not just...
Yeah, the relationship is so funny. It's fun to see the the nuance to the relationship because you just see them as these powerhouses who created this extremely funny show, but then seeing their dynamic it was a blast to see.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
1 second. I have to let my dog on my lap, otherwise she's going to be jingling the whole time.
Yeah.
Wait, there she is.
Peanut's all situated.
There she is. My dog is
How
here.
are you?
I'm good. I have to say, like, I'm good, but my kids are even better
What's going on?
because they are obsessed with you.
Oh, they sure are, actually.
They are truly obsessed with you, and they cry and cry and cry every time I have to like go to work. Every time I have to like record, I have to be away from them. But I've learned a trick, which is they just want to see Brock for like however many minutes, and then you heard them as they were leaving. One of my kids was like, "Bye, mommy, see you later, love you." You have the magic touch where they just like they love. My kids are skeptical. My kids are skeptical humans. They are not social. They don't run up to strangers. They don't like anybody, but they love Brock.
Well, they're so sweet.
Yeah.
And I know them so well. Their favorite character from a movie is Sid from Ice Age. Their favorite movie is Ice Age. They like Princess Elsa more than Princess Anna. I get them. I understand them. We have a connection.
That really is the fact that's when you really know they've opened up. When they say to you, "Hey, what does Sid do? What does Sid do?" Do the tongue thing. That's their way of saying, "Will you be my friend?"
Oh, I want to be their friend. I want to be their friend. Oh my gosh, they are so sweet.
So, what's happening with you other than my kids loving
Kids
you?
are good. Cameron and I, a couple weeks ago, went to Carlsbad, which is like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes north of San Diego. We had a little staycation, or I don't know, 2 hours away. We stayed at this resort, an Omni Resort in Carlsbad. We like to do, every once in a while, just get away, phones down, no work whatsoever, just like completely like honed in on each other, which is so nice. Cameron and I do like once every 6 months. We were a little delayed. We should have done it a little bit earlier, but we did it on this trip. New Year's Day, every day. And then somewhere in the middle of the year, we do like a check-in, a little bit personally and relationship-wise. So like we talk through how are we doing, what's going well in our own personal lives, how can we be supportive of that if something is struggling, and then we check in with like each other. How are we communicating? What are we seeing like problems that we need to, I don't know, where does more effort need to be put in, or where are we things we're doing well? So we had that conversation during our final dinner in Carlsbad. I love it.
I can't believe you guys you're capital C couple goals.
Oh, that's very sweet.
I'm really, are you guys in therapy?
No.
How do you know to do that?
I will say this, it's Cameron. I've come around, but like Cameron is truly the mastermind of saying like, let's sit down, let's make this a thing. And I love it. I really, really, really like it because I think in previous relationships, I don't know if you felt this way, but like in previous relationships, big talks or things that we know that we need to do to like make adjustments, and maybe this is just me being in my like early 20s, felt like, oh god, is this going to be relationship ending? Where now I look forward to it because I know Karen and I are in it for the long haul. I'm going to die next to that man. But
totally.
Yeah, but so now it feels good of like it's a tune-up, it's a checkup. We do it, again, we were a little delayed this year, but like once every 6 months, and we'll do it again. I'll bet you $1 million on New Year's Day. That's when we always do it.
I truly love that so much. And I have to say, it's a shame that you don't want kids because you would be such fantastic parents.
Oh, you're sweet. I mean, honestly, almost the like really big creation of these talks was when we had to truly like sit down and talk about, because he veered more on the side of wanting kids and I veered way more on the side of not wanting kids.
I thought it was the opposite.
The what?
I thought it was the opposite.
No, Cameron wanted kids. I didn't want kids. And so It was a lot of conversation circling around like, what would that look like? What can we do? Because you can't compromise on a child. If you're going to have a kid, you got to be all in on it, right? Because that's one, not fair to the child. And there's just, you have them or you don't. And so the genesis of, I think, a lot of those conversations started with that, where we'd like go think about it. In the beginning of COVID, I did go see therapy. I would get therapy because I was like, let me tell you everything, but I was like, I need an objective third party who is not involved. What are the questions that I'm not thinking of that I need to ask him or talk about or, whatever. It's been very helpful. So I always really like them. It's a really nice blend of like, oh, we had a Mai Tai by the pool and had a club sandwich. And then also let's, do a little check-in.
I got to say, because I'm a big proponent. I mean, you guys would benefit, but also you clearly are like doing the things anyway. But I'm like I like proselytize couples therapy. Like,
because you and Nick do couples therapy, right?
oh, 100%. I just want to say that Brock just asked, like, is it okay if I say this on mic? And I am so vocal about it because I can't emphasize enough. Don't go, and because we have I think a fantastic relationship, fantastic marriage. And sometimes I tell people, and they're like, are you guys okay? Or why did you start? And it was like, no, we started therapy because we were doing fantastic. And we were like, let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
Let's make sure.
I think the big stigma of therapy is that you hopefully are in therapy when you don't need it, so that then when you are there, you have the tools and it doesn't feel like you have to make some gigantic life shift, right? It's also there for the good as well. Exactly.
It just gives you, it's like, if you're in a good place, that is, like you said, that is the time to start therapy, because then you're in the mindset of, I'm going to be receptive to like receiving these tools so that I know how to deal with it when something bad does happen. And like some bad stuff has happened to us in our lives. Like our experience having kids was like traumatic, like actual labor and delivery, and then the first 2 months when they were in the hospital, like we couldn't have done that without therapy. We couldn't.
Oh, of course, because that puts a strain on each other, with just not intentionally, but inevitably, like your wires are short at that point.
Yeah,
and who do you take it out on? Your husband, your wife.
100%. And having 2 infants could destroy a couple. And it didn't. It made us so much stronger, and we're like, yeah. So you guys are doing all the stuff that therapy tells you to do, so you're fine.
Well, I adore your husband, and I adore you two together.
Yeah, and same. I'm so excited for the four of us to die next to each other.
Eden, it's time for some middle minutes.
So here we are, episode 112, The Neighbor. The absolutely iconic, we use that word a lot, it gets thrown around, but this is, if I had to pick one to really stick to, it'll be for this human. Iconic. Brooke Shields plays Rita Glossner for the first time, a hard-living cigarette smoker who is considered mean, quote, or an Amazon by her neighbors, or both. Her sons, the dreaded Glossner boys, are also deemed bullies and get in a... I think that should be in quotes too. Fight with Sue. Frankie goes to confront Rita and discovers many items in the Glossner's garage, which had been stolen from the Hex and other neighbors. Meanwhile, in the B story, Axel teaches Brick how to play kickball.
Written by Jana and Mitch Hunter, which we found out a couple weeks ago when we interviewed Jana, that they wrote back-to-back episodes, which is unheard of in TV world. Jana and Mitch Hunter wrote this and directed by, of course, the wonderful, the talented Lee Shalit Shamel.
The guest cast in this is kind of star-studded, I have to say. Like, not just Brooke Shields, but Brooke Shields, Blaine Saunders as Carly. It's her first episode. Gabriel Basso, who's a literal Hollywood star.
And hot. Like, oh my God, I looked him
Very
up.
hot.
That is a man. That's a dude. The star of The Night Agent. My God.
Yeah. No, he is sexy.
Yeah. And this was like one of his first credits. And then this is his only middle credit. He didn't come back to the middle because he was too busy becoming a Hollywood star.
Yeah. No, it's true. That's what happened. I think they had to, I don't know if he never came back or if they replaced him.
I don't remember either. We'll find out.
Yeah. But yeah, no, big star, Gabriel Basso, David Chandler, who I saw in For All Mankind, and I was like, what? Oh my God. Gibson Sjobec.
Yeah, maybe.
Sjobec. It looks Polish or something. It's Sjobec. I'm so sorry, Gibson, if you're listening. But Gibson, you know him. He's hilarious as the tiny little diaper Glossner. Parker Bullock as Wade Glossner, Amy Carrero as teenage sales clerk, and Academy Award nominee June Squibb as Mrs. Leedy.
Oh, yes. Baby, I have some thoughts on that. She was acting.
Yes.
No wonder.
Yes, she was.
Okay, so this, just like a couple weeks ago, this also aired on Wednesday, January 6th, 2010, at 8:30 this time, 7:30 Central in our normal time slot. So this was, of the two-parter we had on January 6th, 2010, we had The Genes in the 8 o'clock slot and The Neighbor in the 8:30 slot. And this time, our highest viewership to date, 8.07 million, I was going to say followers.
I feel like 8 million, I feel like you would say 8.07 million views. So same as last week, the top movie of the week was Avatar, and the song was TikTok by Kesha, spelled like TikTok, the app. And wow, we're really on a TikTok because the views, eyeball, all it's like, ooh, full circle.
Yeah. I'm so surprised top movie, top song didn't change from the past 30 minutes. Crazy.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
Okay. Let's break down this episode. I'm so excited. We'll be right back. Okay. The Neighbor. Watch this with Cameron as well. This one is funny. He was laughing.
Yeah, Brooke Shields, I can't believe they really made her look bad. They made her look bad.
They sure did.
I was stunned. How do you make someone like Brooke Shields actually look like ugly?
A literal Calvin Klein, the face of Calvin, the one that launched Calvin Klein.
Like canonically beautiful Brooke Shields.
Look like that.
Yeah. So incredible. Let's start. Let's get going.
Brick is terrified to kick a ball, so Frankie bribes him with candy, but they lose the kickball forever when it rolls into the Glossners' front yard, and we see a series of vignettes of how horrible the Glossners are. The first thing that made me laugh out loud is when she pitches the ball, and then she goes, "You kicked your own leg by mistake."
Yes, which, by the way, if you look, it's so this was a combination. Casey, Atticus's body double or stand-in / body double, worked extra hard this episode.
Okay, I was wondering if that's what it was.
All of it was Casey, because Atticus couldn't kick a ball. He couldn't walk for long distances. He couldn't do the running stuff. So whenever there was anything like super physical like that, his stand-in would do it. And they had these really fun, I don't know if anyone else, I was like, I could totally tell because the hood was up.
Right.
They specifically made him like very easy to hide for those wide shots. And I was like, that's Casey.
Because if you didn't watch the episode, basically what we're talking about is that Atticus has on this like really giant, like it's like an olive green parka with a huge hood pulled up, right? And so because I do remember this, is that like just to protect him, right? Because of his condition, of course, they wanted to make it super, super safe for him, so that then they would pop to a shot where you see the back of what is supposed to be Brick, but is actually Casey, but you can't tell because the hood is up. It's a huge parka, and you see Frankie pitching the ball, and then they're cutting back and forth to like close-ups of Atticus and the wide shot where it's actually Casey when the ball is actually in motion. It's a little trick of the eye, but I did clock that, and I was wondering if that was Casey or another double for him. And it was, apparently.
It totally was. And also, she has such a specific run and walk. It's so cute. It's so great. I was like, there she is.
And in that series of vignettes, the reveal of Brooke Shields, truly, because it's been a minute since I've like seen her like that. We talk about it a lot. She's one of our first like really, really big guest stars. But seeing it, refreshing my memory for the first time, that slow pan upward, starting from her feet to the like tattoo that's right at her like waistline, going up, and then you see her face with that disgusting mullet, and then the acne, the cold sore. Did you clock the cold sore?
Of course I did. I was like, that is a fantastic Tyson detail. What a great just like, what a specific person. You immediately know who this person is.
From that moment, that's a good casting choice, because it's a good casting choice because if it were anyone else and they didn't want to go full out, then it's a bad casting choice. I'm sure a lot of people could act it, but I'm sure there's not a lot of beautiful people who could be as funny as Brooke Shields was and also be so game to just like go for it like that. And I love it.
Yeah, so game.
Can I tell you my Brooke Shields story?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So Brooke Shields and I, we were in a couple episodes together. We never crossed paths, though. I forget what it was. So I went to New York for like a series of a couple summers in a row when in the midst of shooting the middle for these tap dance intensives. And so I would... You heard that right. I'll say it again. Tap dance intensives. Very Brad. I'm so surprised I got cast as Brad, but then I look at those moments and I think, you know what? Actually, that clocks. But I would have the nights off, and so I would go get the like really cheap tickets, TKTS, in the middle of Times Square, and I went and I saw Chicago, and I got really good seats because it was a one-off seat, and I sat in the aisle, and there was an empty chair in front of me, and who slips in right when the lights go down? None other than Calvin Klein model Brooke Shields. And this is after we had been in episodes together, but we hadn't crossed paths just because our schedules never lined up, right? And so she would come in like under the cloak of darkness, and then during intermission, she would, right as the lights were about to come up, she would dip out and jet away really quickly. And then second act, she came back in and like as the lights were going down, sat back in her seat and then jetted out really quickly during curtain call. And so the thing that I knew, because from reading the trades, is that she was directing Chicago for the Hollywood Bowl in a couple months. So she was seeing Chicago on Broadway to like get the tone, make sure she was like doing her research, right? And so she's dipping out, of course, as any Hollywood star model would want. You don't want to be like completely bothered when you're literally working. You're going to that show to work. If you're Brooke Shields. And what did I do? I ran out to her.
Yes, you did.
And so I caught her on the street, and she was a little taken off guard. But then I was like, you might know me, you might not know me. We've been in a couple episodes of The Middle together. And when I said that, she was like, you could see it register in her face, where she was like, you play the friend. And it was this, she will not remember that, but it meant so much to me that I was like, oh my God, I do play the friend. And it was a good choice to chase after Brooke Shields, from a showing of Chicago on a Thursday night in New York City.
No, I'm so glad you did that. She is sickeningly nice and not fake nice. She is such a sincere, sweet, genuine, just great person. I'm so glad you did that.
Yeah.
And can I tell you something that I think about, completely unrelated, but what you did, the opposite of what you did just now? I think about this all the time. I cannot believe you didn't ask Jeff Probst for a picture. Just letting you know, we can move on with the episode now, but I have to remind you of that I'd
have to live with my choices every day. You know what? Maybe I should go to therapy, because that is what will send me to therapy.
I like want redemption so badly, but I'm so glad you ran after Brooke Shields.
Good. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah.
Eden, take it away.
All right, Sue. So then Sue loses a shoe running away from the Glossner's dog, but Frankie and Mike say it's better not to confront them and just keep the peace. I thought that was great. She comes in, no shoe. They're like, shoe's gone. Like, that's okay.
And also, I think this was the moment where the vignettes happen, where because the dog, and they have the series of vignettes because the dog stole your shoe. They have the series of vignettes of the dog running crazy, and that's the one where Patti, for the third one, takes the car, backs out of the driveway, gets the mail, and then pulls back into the garage. That one is funny. That one made me laugh out loud.
Yeah. I really like this next part. The Sue confronts the two Glossners in the hallway, and they challenge her to a fight. But don't the Glossners also not remember her?
Yes, that's okay. I wrote that. I literally wrote that as part of my note.
I thought that was so funny. I was like, even that, what a great touch that it doesn't even. They're like, who? Still.
Oh my God, because they're continuing that kind of thread that they pulled episode 2 or 3, where no one remembers Sue or who she is. It's just, and then how you said, you know what, I can fight you because I have no after school activities, or whatever you said, is hysterical.
Thanks. I liked that too. I was like, oh, good. I was like, good for me. I did it exactly as I should have. That's the joke. Good job. Good job, Pesky.
Okay, so now we get into the B storyline. So Axel strikes a deal with Brick, saying he'll teach Brick to kick a ball if he writes Axel's book report. I love seeing that. I love seeing kind of these. It's funny, talking to Jana from a couple weeks ago, my eyes kind of a little bit sharper, where you're tied a little bit to Frankie and Mike with the Glossner storyline, right? I mean, you still have your moments with the Glossners, but seeing kind of Axel and Brick only tethered to each other, I see them kind of what she's talking about, like putting the seeds of putting the kids in their own storyline, not necessarily anchored to a parent. So I really liked this episode, because I do think back of future episodes. Some of my favorite things that I remember are Brick and Axel storylines. I think their dynamic is so funny.
Yeah, they really were themselves. It really was like, you could tell, like in the best way possible, I don't even know how to, not search and replace, but like you just, it's like sitcoms. I feel like once you have the characters, it's easy. I don't want to say sitcoms are easy to write. They are so not. I've tried. I've like tried to write spec scripts. They're like, oh my God, writing jokes is so hard. But it is easy in a sense that once you have the characters, if you have a situation, you're not trying to invent the dialogue. It's like you just put the characters in that situation and what would they say?
Yeah.
And you could just tell like that's what they did. They were just like, well, let's just insert Axel and Brig. And then they just insert, it was very like, yes, perfect.
Yeah.
These are them.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
And so after finding the extension cord,
they desperately needed for this fight.
yes, they did. Sue and Carly meet the Glossners for the fight. They press play on the boombox, show their choreographed dance to kung fu fighting, and the Glossners push them to the ground and steal the boombox.
I remember that. I remember it fully. I remember learning the dance.
Okay, that's a question I have for you, actually. Was this something that they brought in a choreographer for? Did they bring in Melanie Gage for this?
I think they might have. I think this was unless it was Alex Reed, who I have some very, very strong connection to Alex Reed, who was a writer, producer, director on the show for the first couple of seasons. And he's still a very good friend of mine. I really have a connection. I don't know if he was just there on set for it or like, I really thought he had directed this episode. IMDb says I'm wrong. That's fine. But maybe he choreographed it or he was just there for it. But if it wasn't Melanie, it was someone, like we didn't make it up. That was a choreographed dance.
It's so funny. Speaking of Melanie, this is a tangent. I do want to get her on the show. She's fantastic because she choreographed so many Brad and Sue things. When I saw that, I was wondering, I was like, I wonder if that's when they brought in Melanie for the first time. But the thing that like I just love hearing, especially that's why I love having the writers on, is that they correct a lot of what you and I say, and I am shocked that this is literally Deanne's life, which we found out last week, that the Glossners ran rampant in her literal neighborhood, named the Glossners, and that they actually did a fight to kung fu fighting, a choreographed dance, and then they got pushed to the ground. Like they didn't make anything up. They transcribed it on paper.
I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, but you had to have exaggerated a little. No, not really. Nope.
Because that's the logic of like, of course they didn't do kung fu fighting. They probably just like met them outside. No. The boombox, the extension cord, everything was beat for beat.
I couldn't believe it.
Oh my God, so funny. And you all dressed up in black. It's so funny.
It was the first time I ever put my hair in a ponytail, I think, on the show.
For really?
Yeah. They were like, let's make her fight gear.
And also one of this, watching it last night, right? I think like the scene that people think of the most, or like the big splashy scenes, right? Which would be kung fu fighting. But a scene that made me laugh equally as hard, I'll say, is the scene that follows when you're at the table, or you're talking to Patti and Neil at the table, and they're like, "Wait, the boombox?
Why'd you have a boombox at a fight?"
I don't know, because those made me laugh, and it's like you have these big tentpole scenes, right? The boombox, and then eventually when like Neil gets the bra and the boob pops out, like these tentpole scenes, but ultimately these tiny little, like, I don't want to call them filler scenes, but they weave everything together. They also are, it's just also so funny and character based, and I feel like it's a scene that most people would probably not think twice about, but watching it, all three of you, funny.
Yeah, they do a really good job of like making every no scene is extraneous. Like every scene moves the plot along, but is also filled with jokes.
Yeah.
Or filled with hilarity, filled with fun. Okay, moving on. So then Mike tries to talk to Rita Glossner, but I loved this. I forgot all about this. I didn't remember any of this, but accidentally gets his sleeve caught on her bra. Her right boob pops out. It's written here, exclamation point, exclamation point. I do like when Mike goes, "You're going to put that away?"
It's so funny watching him like try to keep his eyes above sea level the entire time. And also I haven't really noticed a lot of continuity errors, but I did notice one from the famed Brooke Shields. It's not major at all, but she, in her coverage when it's her back and we're seeing Neil, her arm is up like this. But then when we're talking to her, when we look at her, it's down by her shoulder and it's a little bit like this. Very
Ooh.
slight, but I took note. Because that's
Yes,
what we
you
do on this
did.
that's what we do on this rewatch podcast, Eden.
Yes, yes, yeah. We just find that we're like with a fine tooth comb, like what's wrong? What's wrong?
But that scene is hysterical. Again, it's one of those. This is not a real term, but I just made it up. Those tent pole scenes, the scenes that like make a big splash, and that is a right boob popping out is a splash. I call that a splash.
Yeah. So I do love that a perfect reaction. Mike comes home completely shell-shocked, tells Frankie what happened. I was happy with the way Frankie reacted. How she was. It wasn't even like, because it is like, wait, why did you see her boob? But she wasn't like mad at Neil, really.
Right.
or Mike. She was just like, oh no. More concerned about what's going to happen now.
I think as I'm finding, maybe watching it this time around, maybe because I'm older or whatever, the Patti Neil scenes really do make me laugh more than they ever have before. And this one is a perfect example of that. Their dynamic is funny. And like, I think what Neil does so well, did we say this on when it was recording already? He's so good at obviously being dry, but then seeing him be flustered is hysterical. And I wrote down, because I know I can hear Jana and Mitch in this line. It's so funny seeing some like who writes these. I know I can hear these writers in my head.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love seeing Neil not. I love seeing Neil flustered. I love seeing Neil not calm and like stoic. I love seeing him like a little chaotic. And I really do. I knew this actually even while filming it. I really like Mikey. This is what Lee actually always used to do. Mikey and Frank. Oh. God, I'm getting old. But Frankie and Mike's relationship, it really is. So I feel like that's the sign of like, oh, this show is run by women. Mm-hmm. Just that like she's not naggy. He's not a dopey or
right.
like they're equal. It's not. They both work. They both have a really good. They're very equal.
Yes.
In their relationship in every single way. I don't like it's just subtle or it's really big and obvious, but they're so on an equal, like on a level playing field with each other. I really, this is much more. This is what a real relationship is. It's not
totally.
like the woman is and like the man is It's like no, they're just both together.
Yeah, and it's nice because like I think we talk a lot about like the middle feels like comfort food, and it's kind of what we know, but they are making these very subtle differences compared to 90s sitcoms. I love Everybody Loves Raymond, but it has that trope that you're talking about. Yep. This is completely different, and it's not so much in your face, but it is a difference, and it is a really nice, comforting feeling to watch a show that feels like chicken noodle soup, but has something that you haven't seen before. You know what I mean?
And it's weird that you haven't seen it because it's much closer to, I think, much more people's lives. Mm-hmm. Most people live in a 2-job household.
Yeah.
And they like love their spouse. Like they're both, no one's like really annoyed with their spouse all the time.
Yeah.
But they also are just like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
They're too tired to fight. They just move on. That is life.
Yeah. Now we're back to Axel and Brick. Brick withholds the book report until Axel upholds his end of the deal of being nice to him. And every time Brick milks it, he gives him 1 page for every nice thing Axel does because he had such a good time with his brother being nice to him.
And Brick is smart. He knows how to work it. When Frankie and Sue hide from the Glossners at the Frugal Hoosier, Frankie sees Rita for the first time as a tired, stressed out mom.
I love this. I love this into the moment of like the next moment. I think it's just like so well done because you really do. It's you do see it genuinely. It's not a joke. Like you really like, oh wow, yeah, that is. You get a little backstory. You're like that is why she is the way she is.
And I think this is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time we've gone back to the Frugal Hoosier since episode 2. And I did for the first time notice, because I was reading these signs. Have you read these signs? I'm going to read these out to you. It's fish. It's supposed to smell. Last chance chicken must cook tonight.
I have all of these signs completely memorized because they never changed. And every time I went to the Frugal Hoosier, and the set really stayed there for the most part for the 9 years. That was one that was not really taken down. And so we would just spend hours in there. And so I would go around, I would look, I was like, these details are insane. So
good. We need to get Randy on, who is our production designer, because those touches are fantastic.
They really are. Definitely. And then you have this moment of like, it feels like it's going to be, the music's going to come in sweet. Like she does this act of kindness and it's just so real. She's like, okay.
Yeah.
And when she with Frankie next just being like, you could say thank you.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this character would not say thank you. You like, yes, she's a stressed out mom, but she's still it's always like when you're nice to the person who like, I feel like I had this a lot in school because I felt so bad for anyone who was like bullied or anything, or just like the weird kid. And I would be really nice to them. And then I would realize why they were bullied. It's like, oh, I'm not going to be cruel to you, but you are so annoying. You are. Oh my God, this is why people are mean to you.
Yeah. It's kind of those like middle twists that we talk about where, oh, we think the twist is like, she's human, she's a mother, she's just trying to make it through. Twist of, oh no, she's still mean and is always going to be mean. Yes. So
finishing off the episode, I love this also, another twist, middle twist. Axel gets a C on his book report. And he says, he's like, what do you expect? I'm 8 or whatever, how old he is. And it was like, yes, that's right. He is still a child. And Brick kicked a ball at school. Sue got her shoe. Frankie's become the hero of the neighborhood. But I love this. The Glossners are the Glossners. Glossner's gonna Glossner. They are lurking on the roof, waiting for revenge.
Oh my gosh. I loved the ending. I loved Frankie reclaiming everything. It just like, it's that really hero moment. And of course, June Squibb acting for her life as she is earning that paycheck where she's like, yes. And it's just, it comes to this really nice crescendo moment. And then you think everything has gone back. It was going to be better. And of course, the Glossners are there, which means nothing ever really changed, which is sitcoms. That's how it works. Such a fun episode. I really, really hope at one day we can get Brooke on this podcast. That would be a blast to talk to her about all of this.
Yes, when she's not, she's the busiest woman I've ever known in my life.
Is.
But today we are talking to Blaine Saunders when we come back. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome. Hi.
Yeah. All right. So let's get started. Today's guest hails from Oklahoma. After singing and acting her heart out at a talent competition in Los Angeles at the age of 9, crazy, she booked her first job on Days of Our Lives. Since then, she moved out to LA, booking roles on Lifetime's The Perfect Daughter, and a recurring role, which I just rewatched, and I saw you, and I was like, oh my God, on HBO's True Blood. But, of course, we have the privilege of saying that I got to lurk. No, we all got to work alongside us on The Middle for a glorious 25 episodes as Carly. Please welcome everybody, Blaine Saunders.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Hi, Miss Thing. It's been a minute since we've seen you. How are you? You look wonderful.
Thank you. It has been a minute. I think it was like the 200 party or something like that. It's been far too long.
Wow.
It's been
wow.
That's, oh my God.
Yeah.
What year? Must have been almost 10 years ago?
Yeah.
No.
27,
close.
17, 16, around 18? I don't know.
Yeah.
Around there. Too long.
That's
A long
very long time.
time.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for doing this with us, Blaine. It's it was so fun. I mean, Eden and I recapped this episode a couple weeks ago. We recorded it, but watching the neighbor, your first like introduction, is so funny and so Carly. It's so Carly, so Sue. How, we always ask everyone this: how did The Middle come into your life?
So it was kind of a long time coming, in that I met G. Charles, the casting director for The Middle, when I was 11. So I lived at a place called the Oakwood. It's where all the like child actors. I lived there. My mom kept me safe, but I was there for all of it.
For anyone who doesn't know listening, the Oakwood is a series of like it's like fully furnished apartments it's in Burbank, right? And my manager used to call it Mommy Mafia because it would be these child actors, because they were fully furnished. That's where if you were not from Los Angeles, you would go stay there, and it'd be very hyper competitive, like, oh, you got seen for that Nickelodeon series regular role, right? Because it's all children who'd like moved out for pilot season with their moms. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you lived at the Oakwood.
Yeah, there's a documentary about it. Just so everyone knows, there's a documentary about it. It's like famous. It's notorious. It's notorious. I actually am now, like, we have questions planned, but I'm very curious to know your experience at the Oakwood.
Luckily, my mom, so I did say that a lot of people were there for alternative reasons, or like their moms want to be famous, not them. You know, there's a lot of it is true, I will say. My mom is on the normal side of things, and she like had a whole life before, and she's like, all right, you want to act, all right, we'll make it work. But she was like not about that life, so she's like, we'll get you engaged, but like no thank you. So I was more of an observer of the chaos and didn't actively participate, but it was there. So because there were so many child actors, I don't know. Again, I was so young, so I don't know the logistics of how it happened. But there would be like casting director workshops, acting classes, like all held at the Oakwood. So, like, yes, you could take like
that's scammy. That's so.
I know.
Like G is fantastic, but that's a scammy culture.
Looking back, I was like, this was so shady, but we didn't know. We were from Oklahoma, just like coming out here and. I mean, what are their apartment complexes hosts acting so strange?
Yeah.
But G. Charles did, I think, some sort of class or workshop when I was 11. He showed up in these bedazzled Western cowboy boots and like a belt buckle this big with his name on it. And I was
G's
like,
the only one who wasn't a scam. I just want to say that.
Yes.
Clearly there was you found the unicorn.
They got some gems.
Yeah.
He showed up, and he was also like one of the few that was like really helpful and like really kind to everyone. And I was like, he is an icon. I don't know much about him, but I know that I love him. And so he started bringing me in for auditions from that point. But at that time, he was working for, I think, that 70s show, and it was not a ton of 9-year-old roles on that 70s show. So yeah, he kept bringing me in every time he could. And the middle, he brought me in for Sue. I think I got a call back for it. Yeah.
More than me.
Yes. And that didn't happen. And then they brought me in for Carly, and it was finally the right fit. So it was incredible. And then G, I always take it, he says it in a very diplomatic way, but he was like, for this role, we needed someone who could be not so cute and also cute. And I thought of you immediately. I was like, thanks.
Wait, so that actually is one of my questions. I don't know how I would take that as like someone in their teens hearing that.
I'm a chameleon.
So were you slated then? Because is it your next episode where you have your transformation, right? So were those like were you slated as recurring, and that was always the plan from the get-go for Carly's character?
It was for sure those two. More or less. So it was like, okay, we have planned for you to be a friend, and we have a plan for her friend to get hot before she does.
Wait. Okay, hold up. Your next episode is the transformation?
Yeah.
We must just talk about you a lot, because in my memory, you did like 3 or 4 at least before the transformation happened.
Maybe I'm remembering. You're right. Maybe we did. I don't remember. I just know it was very short, and they had planned. The Valentine's was planned from the beginning. That I was hired. The switch.
Yeah. Wow.
But
did you also have braces? Your fake braces?
They did fake braces for me too.
That's what I meant. Yeah. You also had fake braces.
Yeah, I also had fake braces. So they had kind of me planned to be there at least for that, and then it was after that they weren't sure. But they, I guess, liked me, but then it no longer made sense that I was hot. So I think they kind of like found like a middle ground, which I was really happy with too. And then that's how I was there.
In your audition, Blaine, did you was it just stuff from your first episode, from the stuff from The Neighbor, or did you also have to do stuff from the other episode, which I guess they probably hadn't written yet?
Stuff.
Okay, because I guess they're just going based off of
thinking.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And he'd seen me enough to know, I guess, what I look like. To know my appearance range. So it was more just, can I do it?
I have a question. Had you done much comedy before this?
Not really. I know I was a child actor. I like to describe myself as a Benjamin Button of sorts, and that as a child I was so serious. I was so like, I want to act like an adult. I'm here for drama. I'm here for this. And then it just went reverse, and now I'm just like, I don't think I actually I auditioned for a lot of it, but I was too serious. I was too mature as a little kid. So I didn't book it. So I don't think I booked a lot. I think I just auditioned for it. I also felt like I worked with Lee for most of my episodes as well. And I think it was kind of, Carly is a good friend. And like that she is supportive and she's there for Sue 100%. And that is the joke, if that makes sense. So as long as like you just be there for her, and that kind of plays itself out. So that's kind of where I stayed focused. So yeah, I think it was like just realizing the circumstances aren't funny and just letting the incredible writing do the work, because
trust the script.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's where a lot of the comedy, especially with like, you just like do a lot of the heavy lifting is done if you just play the truth of the scene. If we're getting super actory, if we're like just playing the truth of the scene, then the comedy naturally kind of finds its way out because the writing is so good. There's not a lot of, sometimes when you're auditioning for something that's a little less than stellar, the actor sometimes might need to do a little extra work to make it funny. But I think with I think it's the same with any good character-based comedy, is that if you just play how that character would react in that certain moment, or say it with that sort of intention of who that character is at their core, a lot of the heavy lifting is done from a comedy perspective, I think. Question for you. We kind of had a similar conversation with Peter Breitmeyer, who played one of Frankie's coworkers. Eventually, he was written out of the show because Frankie got a new job and didn't work at the car dealership anymore. When because you never went fully away, but obviously, I mean, there was if I remember correctly, 2 seasons where you didn't appear at all, and then you were just in the final season for an episode, the fun New Year's episode, which was a blast to shoot with you. Yeah. How did that? When did you start to notice a shift, and how did that feel? Or speak. I don't want to speak for you or put ideas in your mind, but like, how's that feel?
I think from a writing point, I completely understood it and thought it was great. I know like Brad and Sue, like were doing like so many incredible things, and there was so much to go with there. And so I was like, yes, for that. And also they, I thought it was clever how they kind of not wrote me out, but like, oh, Blaine's being boy crazy, or not Blaine, Carly's being boy crazy. She's busy chasing boys, which is actually kind of truer to the Valentines. So that kind of all made sense. And it was, so I think it was, for me, it was less of, I'm upset about it. It's more of like, I missed coming and hanging out with you guys. Like I loved the show so much, and I am very grateful for like every opportunity and every day I had on set and all that time. And I'm thankful that I was so proud to be a part of that show. But it was, I was like, I miss Jeff, and I miss like, it was such a well-oiled machine, and it was more of that than it was anything else.
Yeah, that's a really good attitude to have, knowing that, like, because having been on the other side of it for me also, like, obviously I was, a series regular, but I've done a lot of guest stars on a lot of shows. Yeah. And, I felt like, I'm like, oh, wow, I had such a good time, and I feel like I did a good job, and chemistry with the cast and whatever, and then, like, never asked back. And it's sort of like, I know that it's never personal. 99.9% of the time, it's never personal. And it's kind of just like, you can love a person as much as possible, and it just doesn't make sense for the story. And that's just like a very healthy like, attitude and knowledge to have, or like, I guess mentality, just to know that the story just didn't, it didn't call for that for a million reasons that had nothing to do with like you as a person.
For sure.
That's good.
Well, and also, like I said earlier, I was only guaranteed up and through Valentine's. So for me, in a lot of ways, that was all extra. Like, that was just a blessing that they liked me enough to continue as much as they did. So I did, like, if I'm using my logical brain, that was all just extra. So I was thankful that they liked me enough to keep me on for that. Because that's like 20 episodes that they didn't, need me, and they included me. So I was really grateful.
So then what does that feel? What does that then feel like? Because then I feel like you have a good mentality. And so I know this because I looked at your IMDb right before we hopped on. So we did an episode together, all three of us, in season 6. And then you're not in 7, you're not in 8. And then you're in season 9 for the New Year's episode. After 2 years and some change, what's that phone call like? Where your team calls you and they're like, they want to pin you for the middle. How do you feel?
I was so happy. I was so grateful that I was able to be included and to be a part of that kind of final, because it has been such a big part of my life and also a big part of my growing up. I think at the time I thought I was so mature because I was playing someone younger, but then I was like, girl, like, you were a child. Like, you were not. Like, I experienced high school, like half of high school and college, like on the show. So I was just super excited, to be honest.
I forget, how old were you when you started on the middle?
I was 16 when we were playing 13, I think.
Okay. So you're, what year were you born?
93.
93. Okay. So you're 2 years younger than me. Okay.
I don't think I knew this or remembered it, but you just saying this. You went to college, and I can't remember now that it's jogging my memory a little bit. You're doing that simultaneously with the middle. How did you feel with that? Because I felt a lot of times I went to college and I went to a school down in Orange County where literally sometimes I would work and have a fantastic, really funny scene with Eden or the Heck family or something, and then quite literally have to go take a, I don't know, Calculus 3 exam or sit through a 3-hour lecture that night. And it was like, oh my God, I just did what I'm destined to do. And yet now I chose to go to college. Like, I love being there. But it was that weird sort of like balance between the two of like, oh, why can't I just do this for, why am I torturing myself through, all this college? Did you go through those same emotions, or did you like being in college, or what was your view on college?
Sure. I probably didn't make the best choices education-wise, because I was just like, I'm going to do this. So I studied what I wanted to study and like didn't really think about plan Bs or anything like that. But for me, I was a little bit used to it, because since I was 9, it was like, audition, do this thing. Okay, now you got to work on school. All right, school was always something that I just filled my gaps with. So it was kind of a muscle I was used to doing. Like, it was like, yeah, of course I'm going to read and study for this test while I'm on set. Like, that was just kind of my normal. So, which was kind of tiring a little bit, because it was like, I was always on. If I wasn't doing this, I was doing school. Which I think could sometimes be tiring to a child, but I was used to it. And then in regards to college, like I said, I didn't pick a practical major, so I was just like, oh, this is fun. I like learning about this.
What did you pick?
What did you major in?
I majored in anthropology, which you can do things, but you like have to get a master's or a doctorate to like get very far with it. And I didn't want to do that because I was busy working. So I was like, okay, that was it.
So you were never going to school as like a backup plan. You were just like, this is how I'm going to fill my time. This is how I'm going to become a whole person outside of, I'm not going to have my whole identity be acting.
I truly don't know, Eden. I don't know what I was thinking. I was supposed to go there for it to be my backup plan. But then I picked a highly impractical backup plan. And I did not get enough of a pushback. And so I just went along with it. So I don't know.
I mean, well, non-actors, non-other working people do the same thing as you. So I think you did just fine. You followed your truth.
Sure. And to be fair, anthropology helped my acting tremendously. So
that's great.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's basically a different form of studying people, and that's what you need for acting. So, and that part, it was great. But yeah.
With education, Blaine, then because you were homeschooled, right? So did that lay the foundation? I actually have a couple questions about this. Did that lay the foundation for your love of learning? And then also, what was it like to be homeschooled and then also to work, and your peers or the people you're surrounded with most of the time are then adults? It
was interesting. Like I said, I I think as a child, I was a little bit of a weirdo, and like that was a life for me. Because some could say like, oh my, your childhood was taken. Like that's a really common thing about child actors now. And in a way that I'm sure was true, I didn't have a normal childhood, but I didn't want one. Like, I always kind of wanted a weird life. Even when I was in Oklahoma, I was doing all these different things and, like, not living, I wasn't just going to school. So I think I got a lot of my passion and interest for learning from my parents. I just was, like, built with a lot of interests. And, like, I want to know a lot of different things. And school was interesting though, because I was homeschooled and I was acting, which is pretty normal, but the homeschool curriculum we were using was a very like fundamental Baptist homeschool Christian program, which was, I liked it, but it was so funny because it would be like women who can't wear pants. And then I would go and do an audition talking about, like, very adult things, or, like, and it was just, like, the dichotomy of that was so crazy to me.
Yeah.
It was,
How did you reconcile that?
I haven't.
I mean, do you still, even now, because, like,
Yeah.
Acting requires to have a really broad, it requires you to see a lot of different mindsets, and like you said, like there are a lot of non-religious, unless you're only auditioning for faith-based, projects. There are a lot of non-religious points of view that you're going to be all those different kinds of projects. Did that ever bother you, or like did that
certainly
interfere?
I think it was certainly a journey of figuring out what my line was. And I think it changes as I got older. Like as a kid, I was really like, didn't want to break the rules and like, didn't want to say bad words, and all these scenes would make me say bad words and I didn't want to. And so it'd kind of be like an audition by audition. And luckily my agent at the time was like very understanding and very like not into pressuring kids to do things they don't want to do. So I had a lot of bit of grace with that. But it's like kind of a constant journey. I feel now that it's like I'm comfortable with saying no and I'm comfortable with saying yes. And, it's funny. I worked in different things. I ended up cursing like a sailor, and I just like look back at my little 10-year-old Blaine that didn't want to say, a simple bad word. I'm like, okay. But I don't know. I've always been able to find like a way that a truth for me in it, if that makes sense. I think even now, like at my job, it's very much a blend of both. So that's exciting. And I think I don't like to believe that like you can't do both, if that makes sense. Like you can't have certain values or you can't believe certain things and be in the industry. Because I love a lot of people and I love lots of different kinds of lifestyles. And I think like every kind of story needs to be heard. And I think that's beautiful.
I do want to go back a second because you talked about your job. You talked about your job now. You said like my job now is has a blend of that. I would love to talk about your job now and sort of what that looks like. Mentally shifting into, because when you were a kid, you didn't have to have a job, period.
Yeah.
And then you were working, and then now in your adult life you have a sort of, I don't know, when did you get a day job or survival job and whatever the term is, and what is that emotionally, what does that look like for you, and what is the job?
Sure. It's honestly, it's been a journey, but it's been one I've been really thankful to be on. It was a bit of like, as the middle kind of slowed down, and like there was an element of like I was getting tired. Like I had been acting for like nearly 20 years at that point, and I needed a break. And but I think it was hard. It's like when you've been something since you were 9 years old, it's not just like a thing you do, it's definitely part of your identity. And so I did a lot of work of like, can I be okay regardless of whether it happens or not happens? Can I be okay with like just being Blaine? Like not having to explain myself, oh, I'm Blaine and I'm an actor. Like, I'm just Blaine. Am I okay? Can I be okay with that? And it was like a couple years of like working through that. And, I did daily jobs. I did a lot of organizing. I like to organize. I did a lot of just very side jobs. And then where I am now is I kind of started getting into like operations and realizing that like as much as I am like creative fly off the thing, I actually like making things make sense too. And so right now I'm the theater operations manager at Pepperdine University, which is a faith-based university. And so it's like one of those where it's like, I like to say, because the industry is very not religious in a lot of ways, I think there's this idea that like being religious means not being creative. And I'm just like, well, if we believe God created the earth, he's literally like that's like the most creative. So like I just like to combine the ideas of like, no, like there's of course just creativity, and of course you can like explore different ideas and do different things, and yeah, so that's what I'm doing now, and it's been really fun.
That's great. That's good. It's so important as a human being in this really demoralizing, soul-crushing industry of Hollywood to be able to receive some fulfillment outside of working.
Yeah.
It is like, it's an insane thing that we are it is drilled into us. There's no other job in the whole world that's like, you must get all of your fulfillment from being an accountant.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
Like,
well, and also, I'm not gonna lie, being an actor and being only an actor and then going out into the workforce and it's like, oh, if you work hard, you get paid and you can get paid more. Because, like, for us, it's like you work 100 hours to maybe sort of get credit or get this or that. And I'm like, wait, it's just as simple as you just work and you get, like, it's, I know it's simple, but, like, to really let that sit in, it blew my mind. I was like, oh, this is incredible, guys. Like, you don't know.
No,
the older I've gotten,
crazy.
the more I've realized how important having dental insurance is. My God.
Right.
Like having a job that offers my God. It's just like, I think it's also, my mom always said, and this doesn't necessarily pertain, she wasn't talking about acting when she said this, but many interests parallel to an interesting person. And so just not being fixated on one thing is sometimes easier said than done. But I think like, where you stand from like a mentality standpoint on it of like, well, I'm interested in this and I liked anthropology and I also like the operations of it all, and having no ego about it, I think is rare. Okay, Blaine, before we do our little Eden, have you scrolled down? Do you see?
Yeah, I do see.
Okay. Okay, you're gonna love this, or maybe you'll hate it. We'll find out.
Okay. Yeah.
When we were doing our research on you on IMDb, there were just some photos that were too good to pass up. So I'm gonna share my screen, Blaine, and honey, all I need is first reactions, maybe a little story, but first reaction said headshot. Let's hear it.
Oh,
Was this Oakwood era or?
Yes, it was 1,000%. I feel like I've glowed down, to be honest. I think this is when I've peaked, and I'm just going downhill from here. I think this was it.
For our audio listeners, not our visual listeners, we have Blaine in just a gorgeous cherub face with a wonderful, what would you call that hat? A voluptuous, voluminous.
It's like a beret of sorts. Or
with a bill,
like a
but it's
newsboy backwards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a newsboy
gorgeous.
hat, but your head, because you're such a small little child, is so small, it almost looks like a Davy Crockett hat.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Okay, and then for our second one.
Also with like a blue steel look. Sorry, just have to like the look is just like,
because of course I needed a blazer.
oh my God, you
A
are
cream
in a
blazer at that.
Oh my
and
God.
now, oh yes,
Yeah.
we're giving rodeo. Okay, so she's in like a pink plaid flannel jeans. She's in a field of grass with pigtails.
I love it that it's very plain Oklahoma, as if I'm not already Oklahoma. It's like, this is what I think Oklahoma people would look like, as if I didn't. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes. I would love to know the kinds of roles you got called in for something like this. It's stunning. And now this final one, I think, have you ever been told as a child you look like Michelle Trachtenberg?
I get told that still, actually.
Really? Because that is her.
Yep.
That is her.
Yep.
And you look
definitely in this one.
identical. Is this era of the middle?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
this had even been either the one that got me the audition or after.
It's wonderful. I'll have to say one of my, this is not your first headshot, but my first headshot was, I had, just like you, I had a knee and just like a big smile, just like this. Just like
Yeah.
that. With
I'm gonna be right back really fast. Brock, you can explain the blue bag grab, but I'm just gonna go retrieve something to show to bring to the table real
Are we
fast.
going to show and tell?
I'm excited. Okay,
so
okay,
excited.
okay, great. Okay, so while Eden is away, Blaine, let me explain to you. We have a thing called the blue bag grab. So the blue bag on ABC's The Middle famously employed you for 25 episodes, network TV. Are you familiar?
I think so, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah.
The blue bag, of course, the Hex forgot it on road trips, so they left it on the counter. I believe it changed color at one point to a yellow bag if they called it a blue bag. We have something called the blue bag grab. So it's trivia questions, 5 of them. Some are trivia questions and some are just like rapid fire based on your career. She's going to bring out an headshot, and I know exactly which one she's going to bring.
Brock, I need you to show yours though too, at some point. If not,
I don't
email
even know
it
where
to
it
me.
is. But did you ever print your stuff out at Argentum Photo Lab?
100%. Like,
Oh, yeah.
dozens
I used to
of
get
times.
like 250 prints of them from Argentum Photo Lab.
Yeah.
I don't need that many.
I still have photos from my high. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these? Like, I don't know. But
I would like to.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah.
I don't. I couldn't hear
She's
anything
back.
because my headphones were out.
Yeah.
I would like to. We're just gonna show my first headshot.
Let's see.
You ready for it?
I'm
Is
so
everyone ready?
excited.
Hold
I'm
on.
ready.
Before you even show it, Eden, the fact that you knew exactly where it was and it was easily accessible.
You can
I
retrieve
love
it that quickly? Yeah.
You're like, hold on. And by the way, you were gone for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You're doing
No, I'm not going to even respond to that because you're right. The only thing I will say is that I am in my office and I recently had to I'm now in a co-office with Nick, with my husband, and so I have had to go through every single one of my possessions and like reorganize. So I did just look at these, but don't worry, I didn't forget. I was like, these are here.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you
I'm
where
ready
the
now.
thousands of Sharpies, but here we go.
Yep.
All right.
Ready.
Also, I don't know how yours are in color. Mine are in black and white, Blaine.
My first couple were in color. But,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
No,
crazy.
sorry. My first couple were in black and white, and then
Okay.
I shifted cover. Yeah.
All right, so here we go, guys.
Ready. Oh my goodness.
Those glass. I knew that photo before I knew you were gonna get it. I'd known that photo for a year. Look at that. You had a knee.
my
I'll have to.
gosh. It's
Okay,
the knee.
I'm gonna have to bring it. I'll have to go find it. I have no idea where it is. I'm gonna green shirt, but I had that same knee photo. We all did.
We did, and then I'm just
Yeah.
gonna. We've got another knee one because we did 3 for Blaine, so I'm just gonna go 3 because we
Yeah.
we deserve
Okay.
it.
Yeah. I'm ready.
I will say, I did have a. Thank God, I did have a glow up. but honestly, there was nowhere to go but up for me. So here we go.
Okay.
That doesn't even look like you.
I feel like neither of them look like you. I'm waiting for you to. Wow.
I had
And
a
is that one
gorgeous
Eden? You're not
blonde.
necessarily hugging your knee. You're like soccer coaching the knee, leaning on the knee, right?
I am because I'm a cool girl. And now we've got when I attempted bangs as all high school girls do. And this is actually what got me the middle. Shockingly, even though they clearly were like, who is this girl does not look like this. Here we go.
Oh, I've seen this one.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Just
all
a
seen
hint
this
of
one.
makeup.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
It's a good photo. It's a good photo. I honestly miss my side swept bangs, but I got yelled at by casting directors like 800 times. I'm like, I can't see your face. So I gave up. They were a moment. I loved them.
Yeah, sign of a true millennial. So now we
Yeah.
can move on to the blue bag grab now that I've gotten that out of the way.
That was well
Oh, I
worth
love
it.
that. That was
worth it.
That was well worth it.
Yep.
So I've explained the blue bag, and now Eden, you're up with question number 1. Oh wait, Blaine, you didn't even see my prop. Hold on. The blue bag.
I was hoping for one. Okay, great.
Yes,
I'm ready.
of course.
Now I'm ready.
In case you
I
didn't
wasn't
know
ready.
what a blue bag looked like.
Yeah. I'm ready now.
Okay, here we go. Number one, we're going to start off easy.
Okay.
In the episode, we recapped 112, The Neighbor. You got to know this. You and I fight the Glossners by choreographing a dance to what song?
I can't sing it, can I?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I think
Everybody
you're fine.
was kung fu fighting.
There we go. There we go.
Love that.
There she is.
Truly, what
Yep.
an iconic way to make an entrance on ABC's The Middle.
Yeah, it's
we
truly.
just interviewed. Did you know? I had no idea. We just interviewed a couple weeks ago Eileen and Deanne, the creators. That's Deanne's real life story.
Yes.
I had no
she
clue.
was telling me that while we were figuring out choreography, and I was like, this is one of the reasons I think the Middle is so exceptional. And like, it's so real. It's so silly, but it's truly so real.
Do you remember? Because Eden and I, when we recapped it, do you remember? Did you have a choreographer for this? Eden, did we ever come to a conclusion on that? I don't think we did.
No, I said I think we did, but I don't remember.
So if I remember, it was Eileen and Deanne, and I think Jana, it was them, I think, who helped us figure out, and it was like loosely inspired by what she remembered doing.
That
was
makes sense.
Fantastic.
That was my understanding. But when we did other choreographed dance, because it's Sue and Carly, this is a recurring thing. I think those were more. We had someone choreograph it, but this one
Melanie.
I think was inspired by the heart.
Okay. Okay. So, question number 2. You're off to a great start, Blaine. Love it. Okay. Multiple choice. In the episode, A Quarry Story. Here's the summary. A party accidentally breaks out at Mike's workplace, the Quarry. Sue and Brad try to shut it down, and Carly, she's nowhere to be found. Sue is shocked when she finds Carly making out with a guy. What is Carly's response? It's multiple choice.
Okay.
I'm sorry. He's in junior college. I'm sorry. He's a shift supervisor at Arby's. I'm sorry. He's in a band. I'm sorry. He complimented my Skechers.
Man, I love education, so it was really because he's in junior college.
Wow.
That is incredible.
That was.
Did you know that for sure? Or were you guessing?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Blaine, you're going to give
You're
everyone a
doing
run
better
for their
than-
money.
Yeah, you've done better than any one of our guests and
Oh
me.
really? Oh really?
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, number 3. This one's, there's no wrong answer, but rapid fire, and the first thing that comes to your brain. Favorite episode to film?
The Western one.
Which one? What is that?
that one?
The one with Reverend Tim Tam. And
Tim Tom, yeah.
Tim Tom?
Oh, I was there. It was the...
You were
she got
there.
her license. Yeah.
Yes, that one.
No
one was
recollection
fun.
of what you're talking about, but I believe it. Sounds like
I
an
think
episode
I
we
liked
do.
that one because it was one of my favorite outfits. Like, I remember y'all listening to a past episode of like, I wanted this. That was the one outfit that like, I want to steal this. I really do.
Yeah, they had me rewear the Square Dancing with the Stars outfit. I don't think you wore your purple dress again, Eden, but I definitely rewore my purple shirt.
Oh, I know that episode because we have a picture together, Brock.
Yes, we do.
We took a we took like a pun. So I know it for that reason.
Everyone has their own reason. Clothes, photo.
I'm excited to I don't know. I forget the plot of that one. I do remember Reverend Tim Tom being
neither.
there. I remember us sitting on a hay bale, and then we're at the DMV, and Patty shows up. I think that's all I remember from it.
Well, and also that was I drove. I think it was that episode. That was the episode that I drove, which was fun. I've never done a driving scene like that, like in a green screen. So that was fun too. So.
Oh, love that. Okay, Blaine, what season did you film the most amount of episodes?
Ooh. I think it's either 2 or 3. I'm going to go with 2. 2.
Wow.
My goodness.
Am I right?
You
Do you know
are
how
right.
many? Can you
No.
guess how many? Okay.
I
It's
don't
8.
know.
It's 8. It's 8.
8?
It's 8.
Okay, Blaine, you're great. Okay, one more. Eden, take it away.
All right. For almost every single episode, with the exception of the glow up episode, Carly wore glasses. What color were the glasses?
Oh, they're blue or turquoise, depending on what flavor you're feeling.
Wow. Wow. This was 5 for 5. That's never happened before. Never happened.
Really?
Yeah, I can't believe. Wow.
I was honestly
impressive.
really nervous. I was like, oh, these are going to be tough. But no, those were... And Christine would always bring them to me. I'd always have to ask, and then she'd be like, here's your glasses. I put them.
Yeah.
Oh,
I miss Christina.
I love that.
Christine, yeah.
Blaine, what a treat.
Yeah. Thank you so much
This
for doing
was
this with
a
us.
blast. Thank you so much for being on.
I know. It's great seeing you guys.
Blaine, it's always so fun to see. We haven't seen each other probably since either a rap party or since that New Year's party that we filmed. And it's it's fun to reconnect in this kind of way. Granted, it's, virtual, but like, I don't know, the rapport we have, it just reminds me of being on set the way we were and the laughing and the fun we had. And it's really great to see you. And it's also so fun after, being out of contact for all these years, seeing how well you're doing.
We love you. We love you, Blaine.
We do.
That's it. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for being
All right, honey.
here.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. All right. See you guys.
Now we are going to read a little letter from a fan. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to just say, this is from Tammy. I found your show at the darkest time in my life. I had just lost my husband and was now a widow at 29 with a 1-year-old. That I can't imagine, because I was 29 with a 1-year-old. You can imagine that I was heartbroken. I started watching the show, and it was the first thing that made me laugh since his passing. It was the episode where Brick and Axel are in their room, and Axel shuts his hands in the door. I was laughing so hard that my mom came to check on me because she thought I was crying. You all are amazing at what you do. I love the show. I rewatch it often and was so excited to listen to the podcast. You all are awesome. Tammy. Tammy, we love you.
That is so sweet. I'm so glad you were able to find laughter in a very dark time in your life. I can only imagine. And you're going through a huge life crisis and shift and all the things. And I'm glad you were able to have the middle to kind of like grab onto. It sounded like a little bit of like a life vest in a time when you really needed it.
Yeah.
That's very, very sweet. Thank you,
the
Tammy.
Highest honor. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you for this. Thank you for reaching out. We love you so much.
Yeah. We would love, the mailbag is getting a little dry, Eden. I would love a fresh batch of questions from people. So if you got some questions, send them, please, especially if they're about episodes coming up. So this is episode 112, right? So when you're hearing this, start thinking about 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, those episodes. We want to clock them so that we can maybe answer a specific question about that episode we're recapping.
Yeah. DM us at either one of our socials, middling, just at middling pod, wherever. Please send us questions.
Yeah. So, Eden, I think that's about it for today. A couple of just things to hit. We got to make sure you're listening to that Eileen and Deanne interview. If you didn't listen to it last week, go back and listen to it. If you want the full extended thing, it's on Patreon. Rate us wherever you get your podcasts. And Eden, I'll see you this Sunday in a Halloween outfit.
In full getup. Happy early spooky season.
Oh. Okay, yeah, goodbye. I can't do that joke twice. Okay, bye.
Bye.